harmony of man and machine. For over 70 years, the fastest cars, the greatest drivers, and the most spectacular circuits have combined to bring us the cutting edge of motor racing. And this year is no different. Through the years, the cars have changed, but the focus, the drive, and the desire have remained the same. The quest for speed, the pursuit of power, and the never-ending search for the perfect lap. To err is human, but to strive, even more so.
Du bist Weltmeister!
Thank you, boys.
In a sport decided by millimeters and milliseconds, the tiniest of margins, the smallest of gains, the biggest of personalities stride to the front.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys.
20 gladiators enter. Only one can leave victorious. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. For to finish first you have to finish. On the line, everything. The cost, all you can give. This is Formula One. Are you ready? Begin. Welcome to Round 1 of Season 7 for the brand new PC F3 tier from Austin in the great state of Texas to the Circuit of the Americas. The track begins with the difficult S's in Sector 1. These require precision in the dry and nerves of steel in 3C rain. The long back straight in Sector 2 is one of this circuit's 2 DRS zones. It presents the best overtaking opportunities on the track. Drivers may be sacrificing downforce here to give them the best chance of no into turn 12. Be prepared for a lot of penalties here. Even if you survive the circuit itself, you might not be safe in the pit lane, as I found out just before last season. It's time to go racing.
Hello everybody, my name is Kiklin and welcome to Ero Pc F3 for what is about to be the first of many races happening in Season 7. Firstly, before we start anything, I would just like to thank Adam for making that amazing intro. It was seriously awesome. It's always nice to see how amazingly he can do his job, and he doesn't even get paid for this. He's doing it by his own will. Like, it's just incredible, and thank you again. So today we are going to be racing in Austin, made in the USA. It's a very nice track indeed, but I'm not gonna say a lot of things about it because you've already heard the track guide from Adam. The track debuted in 2012 and taking a lot of elements from other tracks as well, like stealing the whole of Sector 1 from Japan and turns 16, 17 and 18 from the famous track in Istanbul, Turkey's turn 8. So you can definitely expect that the drivers will need to be careful how they approach those corners to not invalidate, spin or get a penalty. You may also wonder why I'm here. I'm actually covering in for Ryan, who is not available at the moment, so you won't see a lot of me, don't worry. You will get rid of me. Commentating alongside me is David Hoy. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? And are you excited?
I'm very excited, especially after last week. Last week was really fun. Good thing about this this division, the PC Formula 3, is we have got a lot of debut drivers. So it's going to be really fun to see how these new guys all get on. A few existing drivers, but for the most part, it's all debut drivers. So it's gonna be really cool to see how these guys get on throughout the season. We've had one pre-season race already around Canada last week, which you can catch on the channel if you haven't seen already, and there was a lot of action. So I'm very excited to see, especially around turn 1 in the race, how this all goes.
Of course. I am also very excited indeed. We don't have a full grid, unfortunately, for today. We are missing 4 people, but that will not remove any action that is going to be happening today. So, like we said, this is the first round. What are we to expect for from our drivers? Are they going to push it really hardly at the beginning, or are they just going to drive a bit conservatively because they know that they have a full season right ahead of them?
I think it's gonna be. I feel like most of these guys are gonna push. They've had the one race to set in. I think now that they've got that under them, a lot of them are really gonna be trying to stake their claim on this league from the start. Although we did have 3 safety cars around Canada last week, so maybe there'll be some people taking it a bit easy, maybe going on an alternate strategy. So it's going to be interesting to see what these do. Most of the guys look like they're going out on soft, so they're out lap already. Well, that's to be expected. You do lose quite a lot of time on the mediums around here. Yeah, I think these guys are going to push. I really do.
But it is very interesting that a lot of people are not even trying to do a lap on mediums, as a one-stop is definitely possible around this track, as tire wear is not really that high. So we are definitely going to see a one-stop strategy, maybe from softs to mediums or from mediums to softs. Only the rain can disagree with us and bring us a zero stop.
Rain.
That could be very, very interesting. We are on board with Bakalik, the McLaren driver, starting out his first lap. Do you have anything to say about him, or his performances, and what we should expect?
Bear with me, because I'll get the results from last week. As I said, there's a lot of new drivers, so we don't have too much information to go off of other than where they came last week. Daniel Bakalik did secure himself a top 5 finish around Canada on his debut, so let's hope he can do better this week. We have a spinner retirement. That's Rasmus Rasmussen in Sector 3.
Yes, it is. But I think he retired in the pit lane. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe he's trying to do...
Yeah, his car's on the pit lane, but I think he spun out on the triple right-hander.
I do not know, but the lobby is lagging a little bit. I don't know if that's from me or if it's the lobby host, but I hope it all gets settled well soon. Also, can anyone say if the quality is okay, if the audio is okay? Just so we know if we need to bump the volume a little bit, or if we need to bump the volume of David Hoy here. So please tell us. But Bakalik going out to turn 20, the final corner of the track, and let's see what time he can do. Opening the DRS and a 134.2. Not a bad lap, I'm gonna say, but you can definitely improve by a lot, as he messed up in Sector 1. Had to be a little bit cautious as he locked up.
Yeah, good benchmark for sure. We've got Bellini coming through the final corner now. Let's see what he can do. 132.9. That's more like it.
Oh, that's way better. Give me just a second. It looks like you need to bump your volume down a little bit.
Okay, no worries.
And there we go. So,
a lot of traffic in Sector 3 at the moment.
That is very, very interesting indeed.
We do have a Ferrari that is also retired at the end of the triple right-hander.
It is Stewart. And we are on board with Carlock. Bakalik's teammate, who sets a lap time of 1:33.9, 3/10 faster than his teammate. So they are not looking that bad, but they are still 1 second behind
Yeah.
the Mercedes driver, and he'll actually set the
Ooh.
fastest lap time, 1:32.8, 1/10 faster. So that's quite
Last
good indeed.
week's winner.
Yes. So he's definitely getting the edge in these beginning stages of the qualifying session. And he is letting one Alpine driver through who is not doing his lap. He is on a in-lap. The only medium runner is Kuchuk, 1:35.5. He can definitely improve if he wants to do softs. So yeah, at the moment everything is looking quite well. If you didn't know, the rules in F1, if you qualify in the top 10, you have to start on the tires that you set your lap on. So let's say Hill puts a fastest lap time on those softs, he has to start on those softs. But if you're below the top 10, like P11, you can choose whatever tire you want to start on. So you can start on fresh softs, mediums, or hards if you have them, of course. And you don't have a lot of tire choices, and you don't have a lot of spare tires, so you really have to choose wisely what you want to use in qualifying and in the race, so you have a spare fresh tire if you spin and receive damage. But
Yeah, definitely.
yes,
I think one thing just to add to that as well is last week there were a few drivers who did several laps on the same compound of tyre, which is... It's fine as long as you can beat that lap, but elaborating on what you said, Dino, is if the driver qualifies on, say, 3-lap old softs and then can't beat that lap time, they have to start the race on that set of 3-lap old softs.
and depending on the track, the different tire wear percentages are definitely not gonna be in your favor. If you did 3 laps with softs, like you said in Bahrain, you would probably have to start with 12-lap old softs, which is not what you want to do.
You're power sliding around turn 1.
You would be dead. Like the Haas driver, the dive bombed everyone in the PC2 race, but thankfully no casualties.
I watched that at work and whew, it looked spicy.
Definitely. The only 2 drivers who have not yet retired and haven't set their lap time are Snap and Melko. We are currently on board with them. Melko currently doing his lap, but he is holding up the Aston Martin driver behind him. I don't think he's on his in lap, or I mean fast lap, but still you really need to be careful. If you are behind one car, you will get dirty air, which means that you will be a lot slower in the corners, so you will have a lot of understeer when coming to the corners. So you really need to leave a gap to maximize the potential of your tires and your performance if you want to set the fastest lap possible. But yeah, we are currently on board with Melko. We had a major lag spike. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. And Snap is right behind him, so he's gonna be the casualty for the dirty air. So he's probably gonna want to back down and do another lap later, as he runs a little bit wide. But thankfully he doesn't invalidate. If you go off track with all 4 wheels, there is a chance to invalidate. But USA is very weird with track limits. At some parts you can definitely corner cut them and not be penalized, but at some parts, even if you go a millimeter off track, you're basically dead.
It's so strange. Like, you can cut turn 12 a lot. We're not seeing our drivers doing it that much at the moment, but you can pretty much just ignore turn 12 apex altogether and get away with it.
So that is the main thing that are going to have to be careful, and Snap and Melko are nearly going side by side, which is not really what we want to see in qualifying. Already spicing up what's going to be an interesting race, we hope.
Hopefully Snape doesn't go for a move on the last corner. Okay, he's kept it clean.
Melko sets a lap time of a 1:35.5 and Snap a 1:34.7. I don't think they are happy with those laps. They will probably have to do another one, but thankfully there is still enough time, 8 minutes remaining in the session. So there is definitely enough time to do 1 or 2 more laps.
Yes, looks like Snape's going for another one, so he'll probably improve by a few tenths. I'm just seeing if I can catch anyone at the moment.
Burlini is on a fast lap, improving by 2 tenths at the moment in Sector 1. Going to Sector 3 right now, improving by 0.4 seconds, half a second faster. If he manages to keep this up, he will be taking pole position from Hill. So let's just keep on board with him to see what he can do. Going to turn 17 and 18. Takes it nice and cautiously, full speed, of course. You don't really need to back down on the throttle. It's a full speed corner. He runs a little bit wide, thankfully it doesn't penalize him. And he's going to finish his lap, a 1:32.2! 6 tenths faster than Hill.
Good lap.
That is a very good lap.
Track evolution is very, very big around here as well. If you're able to time your lap when the track's at its best, it's a completely different beast to drive altogether. Like, all the traction zones suddenly become so much easier, you can take a lot more corners at a much higher speed, people get into the 32s and really challenge the front here.
Well, we don't really want to have a PC2 problem where we have 3 people out in front and no one else challenging for the win, which we had last time or last Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the most difficult part is going to be turns 12, 13, 14 and 15, as the wind actually travels to the back of the car, to just in front of them. From the rear wing to the front wing, so you really lose a lot of grip because you do a hairpin, you turn 180, so you turn to the wind and it really unsettles the car. That's probably the most difficult part of the racetrack, besides say, Sector 1, of course.
Yeah, someone who plays on pad, this track is mean.
Not good.
It's very mean.
I don't really have a lot of experience on pad, but I think you do, so I'm not gonna say anything because I really don't know.
I mean, it's alright, the pad gives you optimal turning, but in corners like the first sector where you just really need to chuck the car in, it's not very good at it whatsoever. Alfa Romeo stopped at turn 1.
I have only played on keyboard, and it's
Oh.
it's bad. Do not try it.
You can either go full lock or nothing.
Yes. Either buy a pad for like €100 or just buy a wheel for €100. Even though they're going to be so bad, it's way better than on a keyboard. Trust me.
Yeah. You need, not even good equipment, just passable equipment.
Yeah,
if you can just get the
passable.
right input settings, then you're fine. I wouldn't play this game on keyboard if someone paid me.
Bakalik has improved, 1/10 puts him in P10, a 1:34.0. Not a lot of people out on track at the moment. Looks like they are still waiting for the end of the qualifying session, probably 2 minutes remaining, as we actually have 4 minutes remaining. So still way too much time to do 1 more lap. Do you know how much the fuel is affected on this track? Is it major, or are you able to save it a lot?
You can lift and coast quite well through Sector 3. But with the cars as thirsty as they are on this track, it is a fairly high fuel consumption track. So I'd imagine these guys are probably fueling quite heavily just to get 2 full quali runs in, and the guys who are on the outlaps now, just in case they do bottle one of their laps. But let's say you under fuel in the race. Sector 2 unless you're at a major disadvantage, it's quite easy to hold your position. So you can lift and coast, but with all the traction zones and some high-speed sections as well, it does use up quite a lot of fuel.
So it's pretty okay if you underfuel and if you want to fuel save. But if there's going to be a safety car, then no one needs to really worry about fuel saving.
And if last week's anything to go by, there'll be safety cars.
Definitely. But I think there's a little glitch in the game. I had a race in Wednesday, and there were a bunch of crashes happening. It was in Baku, and there was no safety car. And then there was a race in a Monday from the same league. They also had a bunch of crashes and still no safety car. So there might be a little glitch where we don't have a safety car appearing on track. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. And they say
that would be terrible for people who've underfueled for the race.
Definitely. And the safety car was, I think, either on reduced or standard.
Okay.
But still, it's a little bit too much. Like, there were 6 retirements and no safety car.
Jesus.
And then I had an issue, or one guy had an issue where he had -2 laps of fuel, and then on the penultimate lap he was just cruising with 60 kilometers an hour. Or
with the fuel saver.
Even with the fuel saving, yeah.
For a whole lap. The safety cars in this game are weird, especially on reduced. You don't expect as many on reduced, but as someone who's been like flipped sideways around Baku without a safety car, there probably should be a couple more.
Definitely. But I guess anything can happen.
Yeah, I came third that race. Anything can happen.
Fadila sets a new fastest lap time, or his personal best, a 1:32.9, still 50 thousandths of a second slower than Hill in P2. Looks like the Alfa Romeos are actually doing a pretty good job, P2 and P4 for them. So that's not that bad.
Showing. They were quick last week as well. I think both of them had the lead at some point in the race. I think there were about 6 different leaders, to be honest. Which is, I hope we get to see that this week as well, because it's a lot of fun. I think that was a spin in Sector 3 from Michael.
Let's hope
I don't think
not.
I'll have enough time to get around again. He's only got 9 seconds.
Yes. I think my lobby is lagging a little bit, but I'm not sure. I think it's okay now. But yeah,
it's just finished. Well, I say finished. It's 0 on the clock.
Kopaciewski a 1:33.2 and Berlini a new fastest lap of a 1:31.9.
He's in the 31s.
Whew, that's fast.
That is fast.
1 second faster than Hill in P2. So
the Drake Dempsey of PC3.
Definitely. So we know who's gonna win. But if anyone saw the PC1 stream on Sunday, Drake literally crashed. So so you cannot really predict the race by the qualifying. It all matters what happens in the race.
The grid. Fadia's backed off and Hidario's invalidated.
And he is going into the pit lane.
He's cutting the grass.
So that should be the qualifying session over, I think. No one is on the hot lap.
And you got 2 drivers in the 32s, and then Bellini's in the 31s.
I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, everyone is pretty close from P2 to P9. If you don't count Berlini, then
it's very close.
Very close. Yeah, it is. But yes, this is the end of the qualified session. Berlini sets the pole position and the fastest lap time of a 1:31.9. very, very, very impressive from the PC3 Mercedes driver. He will start in pole position, and Hill follows him right behind to finish the second row of the grid. Fadila, the Alpine driver, is P3, and Ken finishes the second row of the grid. Then Kopasievsky, Fadila's teammate, is starting P5, and Dragonescu is starting P6. Melko in the Haas is starting P7, Semi is starting P8, Kuchuk is starting P9, and Karlak P10 in the McLaren. All of these drivers that I have counted are going to have to start on softs. Next up we have Mishler, Snap, Bakalik, Hardario, Rasmussen, and Stewart. Both Rasmussen and Stewart haven't set their lap time, which is a really big shame, because I really wanted to see where they would be with the rest of the grid. But I guess you can't do anything about it. So this is looking to be a very impressive race indeed.
This midfield is going to be packed. P4 to P9 separated by 1.6 tenths.
Jesus.
It's like F1 esports level of close.
I guess so. We will have a really close fight for 12 points today.
I hope so.
And maybe even a good fight for the podium. But the win is probably going to go to Berlini if he doesn't crash or get some penalties. So we have a 50% race, 28 laps in total. And we do have a formation lap. It gives our drivers the opportunity to hit their tires just before the race, so they have a little bit of a advantage before the start. So they have a really good line into turn 1, and let's hope that these drivers do not crash into each other into turn 1, like we saw many times before in previous races.
I'll be impressed.
I would be impressed as well.
It's one of those corners where I think it's because it's up a hill, right? You don't see where the end of the track is until it's already too late. Or you're in the side of someone else's car.
Yes. And that's why a lot of people usually over-brake it, or brake a bit too late and cause a crash. But let's hope that we do not have any incidents, at least for the first couple of laps. Then we can have some crashes. And we already have some crashes. Bakalik and Rasmussen have been disqualified. So they will...
It was inevitable.
Definitely. Like, if you get no disqualifications on the formation lap, then good job. Good job. Even though it's not that hard, like, you literally just have to stay behind. You can leave 10 seconds to the car in front of you and you should be good. Like, I do not know how people can crash into each other on the formation lap.
I'm not too sure. Safety cars? Nah. I can understand when the field bunches up. The formation lap, you can have as much room as you like. If anything, if you want to back off from the guys in front a little bit and cool their tyres down, then so be it. Just say you're driving safe.
I guess so. And we are seeing everyone running out to the grid, waiting just to put their cars on the starting line. And the race should be underway. So let's hope for a safe race. And yes, I really do not know what to expect. Who to be on the podium. Berlini probably has the most advantage for P1, but anything can happen, like we've said before. And there it is. We are going underway. We have 4 and 5 red lights. It's a long hold up as always. And we are underway for the US Grand Prix. Looks like Hill actually got a really good start. He is quite equal with Berlini. And we already have a crash with the Alpine. What has happened? And
He's gone round, no front wing.
Berlini went out of track. Thankfully no penalties. He is going side by side with Hill. And Hill just lets Berlini pass because he knows that he doesn't have the best line into that corner. So Berlini keeps P1, but Kent improves by 1 position just behind Hill, 2 tenths. We have another crash behind. there's a yellow flag.
Yeah, it was just for the Alpine with no front wing. Going slowly. I think the Ferrari and I think Stewart may have damage as well. The Dragonescu tried to make a move around the outside of Melko. Doesn't quite make it happen. He might have front wing damage. It was quite a hit.
We have another spin from Mischler, the other Mercedes. In the back. And here we see... Oh, Kopatievsky going around the inside of Kent, the Alfa Romeo driver. I don't think he has damage, but there was surely contact between the Alpine and Alfa Romeo driver.
Looking at Mischler's car. His car looks okay as well.
Thankfully. We have people going side by side into turn 16. Hardeo and Bakalik fighting for P10, the final points paying position. Still going side by side. This is incredible racing. Look at this.
Jesus. Oh, McLaren's round.
Oh, and Bakalik.
Karolak.
Oh, that's a shame. Bakalik went around the outside, and that was a very impressive move indeed. Around the outside into turn 18. He nearly spins in the final corner, but thankfully manages to catch the car. Dragonescu.
Okay, so Dragonescu is in, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I think he, I'm not sure if he got dive bombed or if he was trying to go around the outside of a Haas. I think it was turn 11. Pretty big hit on his front wing, so that's a wing change for him. Got two other cars in as well, the two that we sort of expected to have damage. They're changing their front wings as well.
But
already we have a lot of position changes.
And no safety cars with a lot of crashes. We do have another spin from Karolak. And another spin from Stewart. Or is that a fake yellow flag? It might be. But like you said, this has been an incredible beginning. I really love the camera at the start of the race. You can really see the entire grid just heading out to turn 1. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. Fadia's round again, and the Alpine's on hard tyres, so maybe it's just got a bit too hard on them when they're just trying to warm up. Probably overheated at this point. He's really struggling.
Let's hope that he can manage and get back into the race, if there is going to be a safety car. But by the looks of it, by looks of it, no.
Maybe not. Dragonescu's gone down the inside of Karolak. Karolak is missing his front wing.
Oh, what has happened?
I'm assuming contact.
Between the both of them?
Pitted around, maybe. I mean, they pitted around the same time. It's either that or Karolak's just hit the wall somewhere. He's had to crawl around this third sector.
We have people going side by side, the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri driver, both sister teams. Snap got a little bit of oversteer, hugging the inside curb a little bit too much, and nearly got overtaken by Kuchik as well, but Sammy gets P5, and that is 10 points to his name, if everything stays the same. But looks like a lot of drivers are struggling in Sector 1, that was quite expected, to be honest.
I saw Snape catch another back end loss there as well. Is he's being passed by the Haas? No, he carries more exit speed. Whew.
But the Haas will have DRS, but he slows down a lot. What has happened? And we do have people just in front of them. Hill and Kopatievsky, they actually do make contact. And Kopatievsky now has the inside line into turn 14 and overtakes Hill at the moment. If Hill can stay behind him, he will have the rest for the start-finish straight, so maybe he can do a move there. But our leaders are battling as well, Kent and Berlini. But Kent was driving a little bit slowly into turn 18. I really do not know why.
Like he got a bad line and just caught some dirty air.
He will have the RS though, but he wastes a lot of ERS. He is 50%.
He's already below 10%.
Yes, 50% lower than Berlini right ahead of them. So Berlini is not pushing in these beginning stages of the race, which is really what you want to do if you want to secure a one-stop, because the softs really wear out way too much. Because there are a lot of technical corners where you have to really use the tires and depend on them if you want to survive and have grip.
In conditions like this as well, it's bone dry and the sun's out. Tire temps can be a bit of an issue here as well. Especially on the high fuel, so these softs are just going to die really quickly.
Rasmussen gets a 3-second time penalty. And Hill and Kopacevsky going at it again, the Alpine and Alfa Romeo driver, but Hill will get that line because he has DRS and Kopacevsky does not. And Sammy is trying to go around the inside as well, but I think there was a little bit of contact. Thankfully, no damage, but Sammy will have to be a little bit patient to try and overtake. Maybe next straight. And people are battling behind Melko and Bakalik for P8 as well. The McLaren and Haas driver. Melko going pretty wide, but gets a better exit than Bakalik because it's it's a bit more straight. Because that corner is a little bit of a downhill and then uphill. So if you go wider, you get more exit speed, but you do lose a time because you don't really go to the apex. So it's really a mix of how you want to do it. But Bakalik doesn't have DRS somehow. So he will have to stay behind.
Weird. He's got a full tank of ERS though, so plenty to fight with. Bellini has nearly dropped Kent out of his DRS, nearly a second ahead. Kent's going to struggle, especially with having such low ERS. I think he's actually been dropped.
Melko 3-second time penalty, very unfortunate. We are seeing a lot of penalties handed over to our drivers, but I think we were all expecting that. I think
Sector 1 especially, and then sort of last few corners in Sector 3 are notorious for killing quali laps, so on higher fuel and worn tyres, these guys are probably just getting caught out.
Sammy and Kopacevsky again battling for P5, but Sammy looks to not have the straight line advantage to try and make a move into turn 13, I think that is. It's 12 actually, turn 12.
Bakalik and Melko are still right next to each other as well on the track.
And we are currently on lap 5. We do not have any retirements at the moment, and Hill actually dropped 2 positions. Or actually 1 position, I think, because Kopacevsky has overtaken him. He probably got a really bad line, and he doesn't have any DRS. Sammy is looking to make a move around the inside, and that might be an easy overtake. The lobby is lagging. Oh, there was contact.
Going to try and stay their contact.
Thankfully, it
That was
wasn't really
close.
major. And Sammy is P4. Now he has to overtake Kopacevsky, who he's been fighting for a few laps now.
Hadario's round. Does he have a front wing?
Looks like he does.
Looks like he kept it out of the wall.
Thankfully.
He'll fall into the clutches of Fadia soon.
Like I said, that part of the track is a downhill and uphill, so you really need to be careful with your throttle as he spins again.
He's round again. I think this caught him out last time as well. The hot tires nearly bangs the rear wing into the wall. Oh, he's all...
Thankfully, ghosting is on.
Take it easy, nice and gentle. God, his tires must be scorched.
He
I think I
has to
just
take care
pit
of
and
them.
change those. I don't want to wait for them to cool down. Not with Sector 1 coming up. Oh, no!
Oh, he spins again.
Oh, he's going to get lapped at this rate.
He probably will.
Go on, Hadario, you could do it. Nice and easy. Okay. Let's see what happens with that.
Looks like our leader Kent has actually pulled away 2 seconds from Kent, so that is really good for him.
Yeah, Bellini's already starting to stretch away now. Oh, Sammy's into the pits.
Oh, that is very early.
Already?
He's maybe doing a 2-stop.
Yeah, I reckon so. Those softs can't be feeling nice at the moment.
He is going for mediums. So if he...
Yeah, that's a 2-stop.
Maybe. If he has good tire management, maybe he can stretch these to the end. Or if there's going to be a safety car, he won't need to pit, and everyone else will, so he will be at a massive advantage as...
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. You lose, I think, around 24 seconds, depending on the track. And if there's a safety car, you only lose I think 14 seconds. So he might be at the advantage, but also at a disadvantage. Because he's already made a pit stop, he doesn't need to go in. But if everyone else goes in and there's a safety car, he might not get as many positions as he would have wanted. But I guess we'll have
I think he's thinking of the undercut. As we see Snake try to go around the outside of Hill. Doesn't quite make the move stick. It'll be really interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on Sammy's lap times here, because he may jump this whole group of cars in the midfield that are fighting for P4 at the moment.
And I think because they're fighting, they are losing a lot of time. So he might as well catch them and overtake them. And I think that this undercut actually might be good, as he has clean air right in front of him as these guys are battling. So he's gaining even more time as more people go into the pit lane. Kutik and Hill.
Oh, he gets a 5-second penalty.
That is unfortunate. And they are also going for mediums. Or actually, Kuchik is going for softs, so he's definitely doing a two-stop.
Sammy gets out in front of him convincingly as well.
That is
gained a
good for
good
him.
couple of seconds on that lap at least.
So, looks like at the moment we don't have a lot of battles going out on track, so let's just check the penalties. Snap has 3 seconds, Melko, Rasmussen have 3 seconds, and Fadia and Hardario have 3 seconds. And both Stewart and Kuchik have 8 seconds for speeding in the pit lane and extending track limits, which is very unfortunate indeed. The most positions gained is equaled with Snap, Bakalik and Rasmussen, all 3 drivers improving 8 positions, so very impressive indeed. And the most positions lost is by Fadia, who started P3, now is P14. And we actually have a battle in front with Mishler and Rasmussen. Mishler going around the inside, and there was a little bit of a contact, but I don't think there is any major damage. So that was a pretty easy overtake for Mishler. And,
yeah, the mediums on Mishler are definitely switching on now. Those softs must be dying for these guys.
Definitely.
I'd be very surprised if many of them stay out.
We do have another guy in the pit lane. Kent is trying to do a undercut and a two-stop on Berlini. Berlini is extending.
Onto another set of softs.
Berlini is extending, so he might be doing a one-stop, which might be very OP. As Mishler,
Oh yeah, big time.
Melko and Rasmussen also going into the pit lane. Let's see what tires they put on. Rasmussen softs and Melko mediums.
Ooh.
So, oh, I think Melko is actually... He was...
Had trouble getting out the pit lane, didn't he?
Yeah, that was very interesting. He didn't have a 5-second type penalty to serve, so I don't really know what was happening there. Maybe the lobby was just lagging, or we were seeing... Or we weren't seeing something that he was seeing. I don't know.
It might have just been one of those situations where you're just trying to, like, press the clutch so that you can go, and the game's like, nah.
Maybe. I guess we will never know. Kopetievsky gets a 3-second time penalty, and while that is happening, Kuchik and Sammy are battling for P7 in today's race. Sammy defending the inside line, Kuchik going around the outside, and is in front of him just before the corner. So that was a pretty easy overtake for him.
Yeah, Bellini's in for his stop.
Oh, our leader, and there's a Mercedes spun. It's Mishler in turn 14. Which is a
Bellini's
shame.
two-stopping as well, he's on another set of softs.
Oh, so he's doing the same strategy as Kent. He knows he has the pace for from everyone else, so a two-stop is definitely probably more beneficial to him if he can manage it. Let's see.
I think he had the gap. So you may as well just match what your opponent's doing, knowing that you've got the extra pace and not risk any punctures or anything at the end of the race.
Snap is also in the pit lane, putting hard, so he's definitely going for a very safe strategy. And he will be just in front of Hill, the Alfa Romeo driver. And looks like Hill doesn't want to make a move, as Snap was really slow on the exit, as he needed to be a little bit easy on the throttle. as the tires were pretty cold at that moment.
Yeah, so Snape's one-stopping. So it'd be interesting to see how he does compared to everyone doing a two-stop.
Infamous, this is Ero. We are currently commentating for PC3 division. It's PC and it's tier 3. I think it's probably self-explanatory. But yeah, this is Ero. If you want to race with us, there's a link in the description if you are enjoying the content so far. But yeah, we have...
Hill's made a move on... Drawing a blank Snape. He's made the move. He's up into P8 now. Managed to get that one nice and tidy through, say, turn 12.
I don't think that Snap has a lot of opportunities here, as hards on this track especially are not what you want to put on your car.
No.
As there's a lot of corners where you really need to have better tires, and hards are just horrible.
He's already dropped over a second to Hill as well. He's struggling through the traction zones. And there's a lot of them around here, so I don't think he's going to be having a lot of fun driving on those at the moment.
Some people exiting out of the pit lane. Hill and Kopacevsky nearly collided as Kopacevsky was going out, but thankfully nothing dangerous has happened. And still no retirements. I'm actually very surprised.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, there's been damage, but for the most part, everyone is
doing pretty well.
Yeah, they've done well enough.
And Borlini is P1 again, can follow him right behind in P2. Bakalik is P3 with 10 lap old softs. He is one of the only guys that hasn't pit yet, and Mishler is the second guy. Sammy is in P5, Kuchik P4, Mishler P6.
Kopacevsky's just gone round well before the braking zone of turn 12, get past Michael Mishler.
And he has...
Hill's having a look as well. Mishler leaves the space.
And he overtakes
nice
him.
move.
Definitely. But there is a yellow flag. It is Bakalik, I think, who has spun in turn 13. Looks like those soft tires are not really doing any favors to him. And
yeah, timed a bit.
Yes, definitely.
He put a set of mediums and goes to the end at this point, so he can make the one-stop work.
Oh, he's holding Kopacevsky way too much. This is not what he wanted.
And he's kind of cut the inside there. Maybe he can actually just... It's interesting that he stayed out. I don't think he had a choice.
Oh, this actually allows Hill to maybe try and make a move around the inside, and he does! They leave each other space, but there was a little bit of a contact, and Kopacevsky is still in P5. Hill will have to be a little bit more patient, probably attack in the main straight. Oh, there was nearly contact, as Kopacevsky is really slow in Sector 1.
Snape got high on one of the curbs and nearly lost the car. He might have some underbody damage.
I don't think that it's enabled, the sidebot and the underbody.
Good. I was going to say, that would be miserable to drive on the hards and have some form of underbody damage as well.
I think we would have 14 people retiring if there was underbody damage, because USA is the most likely candidate for having underbody damage.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Definitely. As Kopacevsky is defending the inside line, Hill trying to go around the outside, but gets a really bad line, and Kopacevsky will stay P5. And Bakalik holding Snap and Mishler again. It's not Kopacevsky this time. And he's just going so slowly into these corners. And he's actually... I think he's left the session because he's ghosted. And he's not ghosted anymore. And he's going into the pit lane. Finally. Oh, he overshots the pit lane. But thankfully everything was taken away safely.
I think he left his ERS on.
Thankfully the pit wall is a little bit on the left hand side, so he did not hit anything.
Good thing he didn't do that at Spa.
Definitely. You would have major front wing damage, probably. And Spy is another candidate for having underbody damage, and it has a lot of auto spin curbs, so
Oh wait, yeah.
you die
It
there
does.
most of the times. Snap getting another easy second time penalty. The only people that don't have a penalty are Karolak, Mishler, Sammy, and Berlini.
Bellini's in such a good position here.
And he also has the advantage of Kent having a penalty, so he can really go cautiously a little bit for these couple of laps. Yellow flag.
Yellow flags. Michael again, yes. I think Michael had a moment.
He's seriously not having a good race today, which is unfortunate as his teammate is currently leading the race. But he is still in the points paying position, so he will still score 4 points if it finishes like this. And he still needs to pit, because those tires are definitely not gonna go until the end of the race. And he might end up in 12th position after the pit stop.
Oh yeah,
As he's
in
going
now.
in right now.
Probably for another set of medium tyres. I think he started on the softs.
I mean, we can check. Let's
I'll have a
see.
look.
He actually started on mediums.
Michael. Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
He's going for hards.
Oh,
Very
I don't
interesting.
know.
I don't know if that's a good strategy. I mean, hards, like we've said before, are definitely horrible.
I might have extended the mediums until about lap 19, lap 20, and then just stuck some softs on and just be really quick at the end of the race.
The only problem that he had is that he spun a lot of times, so his tires
Oh,
would be dead.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Definitely.
So we can just... I mean, even if he spins on the hards, they'll get him to the end.
Kopacevsky and Hill battling for P5. Kopacevsky gets a brutal exit and brutal speed at the exit of 10-12 and remains in P5. He's really battling for that position, and this battle actually is allowing Sammy to just clear his mind off of these two, as he is already a second and a half ahead of them. And he will probably be even more seconds ahead of them because they are fighting all the time. And Hill might get a pretty good line here as he has the RS, but the only problem is ERS, which he is actually not using. So he wants to stay behind and try to overtake later. So let's see if he can do it. So, we are currently at the half stages of the race. I would just like to remind everyone to subscribe to our channel and leave a like, please. If you are enjoying the content so far, and if you are enjoying me and David Hoy's commentary. We would also like to thank our partners, Gridfinder, Bolidomania Race Inside, Discord, and JR Designs for partnering with us for the season. We hope to have you for next season indeed, and we hope to continue our partnership for a few more years at least. You can also donate if you want, it's in the link in the description, and we actually see Hill overtaking Kopacevsky finally, right before 10-12. And
I don't think that fight's over.
definitely. Hill is at a disadvantage with tires, 3 lap older than Kopacevsky, so this is definitely not over. As Kopacevsky gets a really good line, but he loses the car. That could have been a side-by-side battle into turns 16, 17, and 18. But
He can afford to be patient. There's a couple of really good overtaking spots on this track. So if he can just stick with Hill, which I imagine he'll probably be able to, you just get him in the back straight.
of course. He's actually using ERS on the start-finish straight. He wants to overtake
Was he
him.
going for a dive?
Oh, that's a late move. And
Hill left the space. Fair enough. Hill's still side by side. They're wide through the S's. Someone's got to back out.
Oh, they touch. Hill and Kopacevsky touch. That
Hill might
might
have
be
to give that
damage.
place back.
Maybe, but Kopacevsky did slow down quite dangerously, and to To be honest, I didn't expect that. I think that's probably his
No.
fault.
I think a lot of these drivers are still a bit nervous through the S section. I'm seeing a lot of different lines and speeds. And we've got Snape who's gone round at the exit of the S's as well, to start Sector 2. His teammate's going to be right behind him, probably even get DRS. I think I'd just let your teammate through if I was Snape in this situation and try and defend from everyone else.
He is really slow. I wonder if he has damage of some sort, which I don't see.
Maybe. And he did spin the car, so I reckon his tyres are just a bit hot at the moment.
Could be. But Dragonescu overtakes him quite easily. There was probably some team plays happening here.
Yeah. Two of these guys just need to work together to stay ahead of Melko and just secure the positions they've got at the moment.
And that is it. Let's see penalties. We did get way more than before. Kent 3 seconds, Hill 3 seconds, Dragonescu 3 seconds, Bucklake 3 seconds, and Hardario 3 seconds. 6 seconds for Kopetievsky, Melko, Fadia, Rasmussen, and Stewart. Oh, we have an DNF! We have our first DNF of the race! It is Kuchik.
Oh, Kuchik's gone.
And we have a virtual safety
And
car.
a VSC as well.
Oh, this
We're going
might
to see
be
some of our
good.
drivers box here.
We might see
Who's going to
Fadia.
be first? Yeah.
Fadia
I mean,
and
Fadia's on
Tara.
13 laps hard, so this is a bailout.
He can maybe go for softs until the end of the race. We saw that Borlini was on 11 laps with those softs, so they are definitely possible to go that long. And another guy that will probably want to go into the pit lane is Karolak, and maybe some of the backmarkers as well. Or maybe all of them, I don't know.
And Rasmussen won't need to because he's just blocked.
Let's
As
see.
for everyone else, they might not even make it round
In time.
to the end, yeah.
Maybe Borlini, he is
Oh
very
yeah,
close.
Bellini's he's right there. Maybe he just sticks his mediums on. Ah, VSC's just ended. He's boxing anyway.
And Sammy has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, and this is
Oh
actually...
no!
Kent is following him right behind, and Stewart is following him. They are going to put mediums, actually, for Borlini. So he doesn't have any fresh softs to put on, which is interesting. Let's see what Kent does. He also puts mediums. And I think that Stewart got a
Interesting.
drive-through, because he's not pitting. So we probably got 2 drive-throughs happening.
Oh no!
That is a shame indeed. And Hill and Kopetievsky are battling just in front of them. Just behind them is Kent, who just bid for new mediums, so he wants to clear these guys very quickly because he is going to lose a lot of time to Berlini if he wants to somehow win the race with
Yeah.
with 6 seconds of penalties or 3 seconds. But maybe
Yeah.
those can get removed. I don't know.
Ken and Bellini both had only ran the softs to that point, which is why they've both gone on the medium tyre. So, I mean, given how far ahead Bellini is, unless he makes some kind of life-ending mistake, he should have this race in the bag, unless it's some kind of chaotic late race safety car or something, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Of course. Anything can still happen in these last 10 laps of the race. Because F1 is very unpredictable, we never know who might win. PC1 is definitely a candidate in that, and that's the most valid evidence. And Stewart actually spins just in front of Hill and
Ooh, thank God for
Kopetievsky.
ghosting, that would have killed 3 of our drivers.
And that would be 3 retirements maybe, but Hill slowed down a lot trying to avoid that accident, and Kopetievsky now has a really good line. He'll defend in the inside, and he will probably let his teammate through. Or he's not doing it. He's trying to fight with
Ooh.
Kopetievsky.
Well, Kent gets a good switchback, and yeah, the difference in tyres is easy move for Kent there.
But this battle with Kopetievsky is losing him so much time, as Kopetievsky is really slow into Sector 1. That is very unfortunate for Kent, who is trying to fight for a win, but I don't think he has any more opportunities. Like you said, only if Berlini makes a life-changing mistake, which could happen.
Kent should have the move done here at the end of the back straight, and then
Hill might follow him.
Oh, he
And
is?
He is following him.
Now for a Mayo team play.
Oh, they are boxing him, and there was contact from Kopatsievsky and Hill. Kopatsievsky has the inside line into turn 14. There was contact again. They're still going side by
Keep it
side.
clean.
Ooh, nearly contact. And there we go. Hill is P3. That was actually quite scary.
I got really worried there.
Same. And while that was happening, Snap, Dragonescu and Melko are also battling for P6 on track, as Snap is losing the back end all the way. And he actually got in front of his teammate, who overtook him just a few laps prior. So the AlphaTauris are not really happy with those positions, as Dragonescu actually goes into the pit lane. And he will probably put softs on, as it is manageable to go until the end.
Yeah, he's going to be very fast. He'll pop out. Yeah, P10, just behind Michael here.
Oh, we have another retirement.
Oh, where's that? End of turn 2.
But
He's probably
no,
just dropped it. No safety car. At least not at the moment.
the only thing we had is a virtual safety car. So, like I said, there might be a glitch where we don't have a full safety car. I don't know. But it is actually very impressive with how these drivers are actually driving really well. We've only had 2 retirements. We do have a lot of penalties, but besides that, everyone is keeping it quite cleanly today, and it's very nice to see. And I've received news that Kopatsievsky actually has front wing damage from that fight.
Oh yeah, he has. He's dropped off. Maybe hope for Sammy. After he's served his drive-through, may just try and close up onto the back of him.
But he doesn't want
Might
to
not
go
even
into
have
the
to
pit lane.
overtake.
I thought that he would go into the pit lane, but maybe that's for the best. But there is 9 seconds between Kopatsievsky and Sammy, so if he's losing 1 second to Sammy right behind him, maybe he can stay in P4 and get those points, but he does have a penalty, which is not going to be good for him.
Yeah, so I think Sammy was about 9.5 seconds behind Kopatsievsky at the start of the lap. He's already closed up by a second. This is on older tyres as well.
This is beginning to feel like a really intense final few stages of the race, as we are on lap 21 at the moment. And let's check the current statistics, as Snap and Baklik are sharing the most positions gained in today's race, and they are quite close to one another, only 6 seconds separating them, and Bakalik is actually gaining a lot of time to Snap, so we might see some moves happening in the final few laps, probably around lap 5, if he can catch him up, or if he can catch up. And most people doing 1 stops, but a lot of people doing 2 stops as well, and Hardario gets another 3-second time penalty, which is unfortunate indeed. The penalties are Kent and Hill, both Alfa Romeo drivers, 3 seconds, and Dragonescu 3 seconds as well. Kopatsievsky, Bakalik, Melko, Rasmussen, Fadia, and Hardario 6 seconds, and Snap 9 seconds. So mostly the same thing, but still, we did have a few drive-throughs after the virtual safety car, which really backed down some of our drivers. Like I think, wait, who got a drive-through? I forgot.
Sammy got one.
Yeah, Sammy got one. He would be in front of Kopatsievsky already if he didn't get that. And he's actually improving 3 seconds each lap. So that's really good pace from him, so he can definitely catch him like on lap 25 and maybe try and make a move. So I think that Kopatsievsky has made a really big mistake as he has not yet pitted for new softs. He's gonna lose way more positions than he initially wanted to do.
Yeah, he'll definitely lose out to Sammy. He might be able to keep it to Snape. That one's going to be close. Although Sammy is on 14 lap old mediums, it would be a stretch to get those to the end. He's definitely staying out at this point, so there's only 6 laps left, but
Yeah.
might just opt to ease up to the back of I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. So our boy in the Alpine in P4.
I pronounce it Kopatsievsky. I don't know if it's correct. It's what we would say in Croatia. And that's just how I pronounce it. But if he pitted, or just when he got his damage, I think he would be just in front of Bakalik. And with fresh softs, I think he would have gotten in front of both Snap and Sammy if he did have the pace. So this is only his damage that he's done to himself, which is very unfortunate indeed. Kopatsievsky. Kopatsievsky. Someone in chat is saying.
Ah.
Kopatsievsky. Okay.
That makes things easier.
Is the T silent? Is it Kopashevsky? Because that's way easier than Kopatsievsky. Oh, hi Plika. I hope that you are enjoying the stream and the commentary so far. And yeah, we still have 5 laps remaining in this session, and a lot of things could happen still. And the T is silent, so it's Kopashevsky.
Ah,
that's way
Kopashevsky.
easier. Way easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier actually. I'm just looking at the 2 Alfa Romeos at the moment. Hill is managing to stick with Kent. He says he's just gone wine and given himself a penalty, but up until that point, he's been sticking with Kent on 10 lap holder mediums. I was just wondering if there'll be any team orders at Alfa Romeo at the end of the race.
While that was happening, Rasmussen literally lost the entire car on a straight line, and Fadia managed to overtake him into 10-12.
Ah.
Maybe he was trying to. Maybe he was trying to weave, and then he nearly went into the wall. It was.
Oh, he may have weaved with his DRS on.
Maybe. I don't think he has damage, so that is very good indeed. So he has DRS, so he can just stay close to him. But they are out of the points. I think that Melko will stay in P10 as there is a 30-second gap to P11.
I'd be impressed if he doesn't.
The gap between Kopashevsky and Sammy is 2 seconds already on lap 24. He might.
Yeah, Sammy's gonna.
Yes?
Sammy's gonna stand a good chance of getting Kopachevsky here, but obviously 16 lap mediums. Yeah, he's having to balance them quite well. He wants to push, but he has to preserve his tires as well.
I think that he might be in front of Snap, as mediums are way better than hards. But Sammy is probably going to overtake him on this lap, the next straight, just before 10-12.
I mean, he gets him on penalties anyway, but we all want to see an on-track fight.
Yeah, of course, of course. And Kopashevsky actually has, let's see, 6 seconds of penalties, so even if Snap overtakes him, if he stays in the 3-second gap, he can stay P5 and get 10 points to his name.
Okay, that's not bad, that's not bad.
Let's actually see who has the fastest lap. And of course, it's Borlini, but it's actually very, very close between Borlini and Dragonescu. It's only 1/10 the difference. 135.4 for Borlini. He will get another point. If you do not know, if you set the fastest lap in the race, you will get an additional point, but only if you finish in the top 10. If you finish below, you will not be awarded. But those are the rules in real life. In Ero, you can finish in the below the top 10 and you will still get a point. So you have something at least to fight for if you have if you don't fight for top 10.
Yeah, just wondering if any of our drivers outside of the top 10 will box for softs. Try and put the fastest lap in. Bellini's had this fastest lap since lap 11 when he was on the softs, so must have been a good lap. So no one's been able to beat it just yet.
Melko and Mishler fighting for P9. Melko goes around the
Melko's
outside.
through.
Yes, he is. P9 for the Haas driver.
Dragonescu's sizing up Bakalik for a move as well. He's very close to the back of him. The match will probably get through. He's on relatively fresh softs against relatively old mediums.
I think we might see a double overtake as Dragonescu and Sammy are trying to overtake Kopaszewski and Bakalik.
Wow, Sammy's through. Yeah, Sammy's just got through.
Oh, but he squeezes him back.
Kopaszewski's trying to stay around the outside.
That was brave, but also not really good from Sammy as he literally squeezed him off track.
Yeah,
He
I
should
think
have
Sammy
left
probably
more
just thought the move was done, but
Maybe.
you can never count out Kopaszewski, especially with the amount he's been fighting this race. It's been a lot of fun to watch him.
Definitely. And he might stay P5. He is 2.3 seconds ahead of Snap. And we have a yellow sector 3. It's the Aston Martin.
Dario.
Yes.
It's gone round.
And
It's unfortunate again.
are the Alfa Romeos doing some team strategy plays as Kent is
I
not
think
pulling
Kent
away?
is just pulling Hill along. Kent has obviously settled for his P2 and just wants to make sure that Hill stays with him.
Of course. He has 6 seconds of penalties, Hill, and there is 14 seconds of a gap to Sammy right behind them, who has done an impressive race so far, finishing P4, and even with that drive-through penalty, he literally just pulled away to that position, improving 4 positions from P8.
Yeah, very good recovery. Definitely better than the rest here. Just looking at looking at Bellini's lead. 14 seconds. And he's kept it clean with no penalties as well. Very, very good showing today.
Coronium, there is a link in the description if you want to join for the Discord. I think we are signing up reserves, but I'm not really sure about that. So you can sign up as a reserve depending on what assist you use, as this league is assist based. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Melko has just made a wonderful move on Dragonescu.
What happened?
Dragonescu went a little bit wide in the S's and Melko just shoved it right in the empty space. That was a fantastic move.
Nice. I'm really sad that I didn't catch that on camera.
Michael's getting Dragonescu here as well. Down the inside of turn 11. Michael's got DRS, just needs to get a good exit here. Yeah, he's gonna get him.
And he cannot
got the
allow
exit.
himself. He cannot allow himself to stay behind him for too long. As Kopaszewski actually overtakes Sammy for P4.
Oh my goodness! Maybe Sammy's tires have really just fallen off at this point.
We have a 3-way fight for P4 on track, and it's the final lap of the race. Borlini currently.
This is gonna get spicy.
Oh my god, and I think Sammy is at a massive disadvantage. He has 19 lap-old mediums.
I think his tires have hit the wall. Especially with Kopaszewski's broken front wing.
Sammy trying to go around
Sammy
the
goes to move
inside.
down the inside.
Oh, I think there was slight contact.
They nearly stopped.
This is incredible fighting we are seeing here. We know that Kopaszewski is really slow in sector 1, so Sammy needs to be careful to not make contact and lose his front wing.
There's just no way through.
He just has to go so slow. Kopaszewski holding him as much as possible. This is incredible.
We might see a double overtake on Kopaszewski here. Depends on the exit speed everyone gets.
Let's see here. Sammy and Snap both have the RS.
Snake didn't get a good exit. He lost the back a bit.
And the only problem that Sammy has is that he doesn't have any ERS to use, but he is going on the inside. Kopaszewski is not.
Kopaszewski doesn't have a lot either. Double overtake.
Oh, Snap is trying to go around the inside of both of drivers.
Oh!
Oh my god! And while that is happening, Borlini just rounded off to the finish line, and he wins the race. Sammy goes around the inside of Snap, stays P4 into turn 13. But congratulations to Borlini for winning today's race. Very, very impressive drive.
Hill, Mosa Stern coming through the last corner to take a double podium for Alfa Romeo. Hill managing 20 laps on his mediums as well.
But we are still watching this fight with Snap, Sammy and Kopaszewski, and looks like Sammy will stay in ahead of Snap and will take P4 in today's race. And Kopaszewski actually wins on penalties. He is P5, but Melko! P5! Jesus Christ!
Oh, Michael's picked into P5 now!
Oh my god! The penalty is going into effect here. So this is not a bad race for Mercedes, but I think that Alfa Romeo is leading in the constructors by 2 points over Mercedes. And we are currently watching Fadia crossing out finish line, going to turn 20, the final corner of the track. And there he is. He is P11, sadly outside the points. And Karolak is following him right behind to finish P12, but will go to P11 because of the penalties. And McLaren get 1 point added to their name because Bakalik managed to stay in P10. And the only guy that has to cross the finish line is Hardario, who is doing it right now. Jesus Christ. That final battle with Snap, Sammy and Kopaszewski was incredible.
That was tasty.
And Mishler is the game's driver of the day. I don't know if I agree. I think it would be Sammy.
Sammy or Bellini for me, just with the just the good clean race they had. I know Sammy had the drive-through, but he recovered to P4. That's very impressive.
Incredibly impressive. And I think that the Alfa Romeos had the podium places set out for them, so no one could take that away from them. And it's very impressive to see a double podium for the Alfa Romeo drivers, as they are leading in the constructors, like I said before. So very impressive from them.
Hill had 78% wear on the final lap.
Are you serious?
Oh my god.
So, Jesus, that's a lot. But yeah.
I don't want to know how much Sammy had then. Sammy had an extra lap on his mediums.
Oh my god, if you go to the race director, so many warnings. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So, Borlini has won today's race. The Italian driver for Mercedes also sets the fastest lap of the race, will get 26 points. Kent and Hill follow him on the final top steps of the podium. And we do not have enough time to check who is where, because the time is gone. So, I'm really sorry for that, but we need to check the incidents, because if people want to remove penalties after the race, of course, every driver can report an incident if they want to, and they can also remove penalties if they do have evidence and a good yeah, I think only good evidence.
I think Sam's just popped in the chat. He's just going to check his tires. I'm guessing at least at least 80%. Unless he really looked after his tires.
77.2. That's very impressive indeed. Jesus Christ. So, a one stop you can see is definitely possible, but you really have to push your tires to the end.
Pushing puncture territory. 72%. Okay, so Sam really looked after his tires. I mean, I imagine Paul did as well, but I think Sam just running in the clear and not having to deal with all the
With all the trouble.
Just running behind another car, just managed to make them last. He did have to fight on them at the end though, so I mean, really good job.
Of course.
Making the medium tyres last 20 laps around here is a lot easier said than done.
I guess it is. Do you have any final few words that you want to say before we end it off?
I am really looking forward to seeing these guys race every week. It has been so much fun the last 2 weeks. I think everyone's doing a really good job.
It has been way more impressive than I initially thought that it would be.
The racing is so close.
Of course. If we count out Burlini and the two Alfa Romeos, it is really, really close.
I said, watch that they did not disappoint.
Definitely. So, if that is it that you want to say, I just want to quickly thank you everybody for watching today's stream and the race. I hope that we entertained you for the entirety of the race, and please, if you can, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't take long, it takes like 2 seconds. And we would just like to say thank you to our partners, Gridfinder, Bolidomania, Race Inside Discord, and JR Designs. Their links are in the description. If you want to race with us in the league, there is also a link in the description for our Discord, and you can sign up there. We are currently looking for reserves. We have PS tiers and PC tiers, so you can sign up for both of them. If you have both PS or PC, but you probably only have one console. You can also support us on Patreon and give donations to us. Also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It really helps us a lot to make even better videos and even more entertaining videos for you guys to watch. And yeah, this was the PC3 race in Austin. Next time we are racing in where exactly?
That is a very good question. I should know this because I'm actually turning up to that race. Where's the calendar? Right, calendar, here we are. Okay, so Brazil.
Oh no. I do not like that race. In previous years it was okay, but in this year's game it's not really fun to drive.
No, it's pretty annoying.
It is. The car likes to oversteer all over the place. It's not that great. But yeah, I hope that we see you next Friday as well for the Brazilian Grand Prix of the PC3 division. And I hope that you have enjoyed today's stream, and you won't hear me next time because I'm just filling in. Ryan is the main commentator along with David Hoy right here.
Hello. Yeah, sadly you'll be stuck with me every week. I do apologize in advance, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope to see everyone back here next week to see what these guys do in Brazil. I look forward to it.
Of course. Have a good day or have a good night, and stay safe out there.